Well, you've been looking at the photographs that you and Larry brought in, but Rick, I need more information.
Well, these are photographs of Jordan Scott's body after the police arrived. Now, obviously, there's been something that's been puzzling me for quite some time.
The vial?
Yeah. Look, why would the vial be in one photograph and not the other?
What are you getting at?
I spent a great deal of time figuring out what the drug is in the vial.
And you have been able to?
Of course, yes. But more importantly, I think that drug has a great deal to do with Jordan Scott's death.
Thank you. Sure. I'm so sorry that I couldn't get off work today. I wanted to be in court when you gave your testimony. Okay. Honey, I know how you're feeling, but now Brian's told you the kind of questions he's going to ask you, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. That's not what's bothering me, Clarice. It's Zachary Colton. I don't know how he does it, but he seems to know everything about everyone.
I don't care what Colton knows. Brian is not going to let your own testimony hurt you.
What comes out in court will probably be the truth anyway. That's not what I'm worried about.
Then what is it?
My testimony could hurt a lot of people, Clarice. I'm afraid of what it will do to them.
Oh, good morning, Sandy. I'm glad you're up.
Yes, sir. I wanted to see you before you left.
Oh, well, I'm not. What's with the luggage?
Thought it'd be better for everyone if I left.
Sit down, Sandy. I realize that yesterday was a very, very difficult day for you, for many, many reasons.
Yes, sir, it was. I can imagine what you've been thinking.
I've been hoping that we could have a talk, maybe.
Sure, if you want to.
I think we should.
And now, the continuing story of Another World.
I just wish I'd told you everything beforehand, you know. There's so many things I could have explained about how I became involved in this whole business in the first place. But, Colton wasn't about to give me that chance on the witness stand. He wasn't interested in that part of it.
Well, I'm interested.
I didn't have it very easy as a kid, you know. My stepfather was a hard man to live with. He was kind of rough on my mom and me, so when I was old enough, I decided to leave home and try and make it on my own. Well, not long after that, Mom became pretty sick. The doctors told me that she had to have surgery, so I had to find work, and I did. I got a job working for a health club in Los Angeles, run by a woman named Ilsa Fredericks. Well, in time, Mom's condition got worse. I knew there wasn't much hope, but I was determined to do anything I could to give her as much time and to make her as comfortable as possible. So I borrowed money. Money that Ilsa was more than glad to lend me. Before I knew it, I was in so deep, I couldn't keep track of how much I owed the company and her. But she came up with the perfect way for me to pay her back. Working for the escort service, you know, doing certain kinds of special favors, entertaining bored women to keep their mind off their lives. When the operation moved to Las Vegas, I went with them. And then I felt like I had no choice, so I did whatever Ilsa asked me to until finally I'd had enough. Got to the point where I just couldn't live with myself anymore, Mac.
If only Miriam had got in contact with me.
She was a very proud woman.
Yes, but it could have helped her. Then you wouldn't have had to turn to these other people. I'd like to try to make up for all that to you. Would you please let me try?
But you already have, Mac. By just accepting me for who I am.
And what you are is a very fine young man.
I just wish I could have lived the kind of life that would have made you proud of me. I really wanted that more than anything else, you know?
Listen to me, Sandy. I don't judge people by what they had to do in life. I judge them by what I believe they are. And what you are is a good and kind young man that did the very best you could under terribly difficult circumstances. I'm so proud to have you as my son. Please don't think of leaving. Right here is your home.
Oh, thank you, Mac. I don't think you know how much that really means to me.
Yes, I do.
Well, exactly how could that drug have contributed to Jordan's death?
Jordan's wound was serious, but not extensive enough that he should have bled to death so quickly. Now, it puzzled me that he could have lost so much blood between the time of shooting and the time of death. And then I looked at the pictures and saw that there was something in one of them that wasn't in the other, and I thought there was a connection.
And what did you find, ultimately?
The important thing is the drug is an anticoagulant. It causes a thinning of the blood. Now, if someone has a severe wound, a gunshot wound, if this is administered, it could cause the person to very quickly bleed to death.
I see.
I think this is the reason that Jordan died so quickly.
Now, wait a minute. What you're suggesting is that someone would had to have given Jordan an injection of that drug after Blaine shot him.
Yes, and traces of that drug would still be in Jordan's body.
And an autopsy would detect it?
Absolutely.
Oh, Rick, you know, I think that this information could convince the court to order the body exhumed and an autopsy performed.
I think it could indeed.
There are things I've done in the past, Clarice, that I'm not very proud of. And if it comes out on the stand, I'm going to hurt Larry and Jerry very badly.
Blaine, how could Colton knows those things?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that he does. It doesn't matter if I say those things. I don't want to hurt them. They've stuck by me no matter what.
Blaine, they stuck by you because they care very much about you.
When they hear what I have to say, they're never going to be able to forgive me.
Blaine, you're wrong. They knew that you were in a situation that was out of your control.
But that came later.
I don't understand.
You will, Clarice. Everyone will, soon enough.
I got the search warrant, Captain. I'm over here going over this place right now.
Larry, exactly what are you after?
Captain, look, I'm just looking for additional signs of gunfire.
And what do you hope to prove if you do find another bullet over there?
If there was a second shot fired that night, I think the court ought to be aware of that fact.
Look, I understand. You want to help your sister any way you can.
Yeah, I do. And whatever lead I've got to follow it up, because her whole future depends on it.
Well, good luck, Larry. Now, you let me know if you come up with anything.
I will, Captain.
Excuse
Excuse me. May I interrupt?
Oh, you're not interrupting at all now.
Mac, I just wanted to thank you again for letting me stay here while Jamie's in the hospital.
You stay here as long as you like.
Thank you. Oh, I'm just so worried about Jamie. I can't get him out of my mind. I'm going to stop by the hospital on my way to work.
That's a wonderful idea. I'm so glad you're going to try to help him. He needs it so much now.
I know, Mac. And believe me, I want to be with him every moment that I can. But there is something else that's been troubling me.
What's that?
Well, when this crisis is over, I know that Jamie's going to need a lot of time to get himself pulled together.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I just hope that I can convince him to take time before he starts to take up his life again.
Yes, you're right. But I'm also worried about Brava. With Jamie and Pat gone.
Well, we'll manage somehow.
Oh, I know we will. I just want to do whatever I can do. And I was thinking, maybe I could take over some of Jamie's responsibilities until he comes back.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that. I mean, it makes me feel very good to know that you want to cover for Jamie. But I don't want to put that strain on you.
Well, what if I didn't do it alone? What if I had an assistant? And that way the workload wouldn't be too bad. What if, let's say, Sandy were to help me out? If the two of us would work on that, Mac, I'm sure we could work it out. I'm sure we could do it.
What do you think, Sandy?
Well, I want to help it any way I can, Mac.
Good. Then it's settled. Oh, Mac, that's great. Jamie is going to be so pleased and relieved at that news.
Please tell him I'm thinking of him and want to see him.
I will.
Excuse me, can we bring up the black ladies and gentlemen? If you all make Ilsa got to make a statement. When court reconvenes this morning, Miss Ewing will take the stand in her own defense. At that time, I'm sure your questions will all be answered.
Mr. President, would you use evidence will prove that you did not intend to kill Scott? Miss Ewing.
Jamie, how are you this morning, sweetheart?
I'm not sure. I don't even remember how I got here. What happened?
Oh, Jamie, of course you remember what happened. You were taking drugs. Didn't you know how it would affect you?
Don't remember.
Well,
I don't remember taking anything.
All I know is that Rick and Dr. Matthews said that you had that junk all through your system. Oh, you really looked terrible. You were shaking all over.
Does Mac know?
Yes, he does. And it's put him in quite a bind at the complex, what with Pat in London and all.
I'm not sure how long I'm going to be here. What's going to happen to Brava?
Well, it won't be easy, but... Well, that's for sure. But if Sandy and I can work together and pull your share of the workload as well as our own, then I guess it will get done. But there are deadlines to meet, you know.
I'm sorry. I didn't want this to happen.
Well, there's nothing we can do about that now. It did happen. We'll just have to deal with it. I'll manage, don't worry. I certainly don't want to disappoint Mac, too.
I'd like to see my parents.
What?
I'd like to see Mom and Mac. Would you get them for me?
Jamie, I don't know if that's such a good idea right now.
I want to see them. I have to.
Jamie, look. You look really terrible right now. Do you want Mac and Rachel to see you looking like this? It'll only make them worry.
I have to. I have to explain to them.
Jamie,
I have to
you
tell
may
them.
end up hurting them more than you already have.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Oh, of course I'm right. I know how you feel, sweetheart. But I'm here.
Are you?
Of course. I'm your wife. This is where I belong. Is there anything that I can get for you?
I don't think so.
How about a glass of juice? The doctors say that you should drink plenty of fluids.
I don't want any.
Jamie, if you're going to get well, you have to do what the doctors tell you to do.
All right.
Good. Yes. Nice, cold juice. Make you feel much better, sweetheart. Come on. Here. Drink this. There you go. Good.
What is it, Larry?
I got Capt Petroni to issue a search warrant so I could go through Blaine and Jordan's place. I just got back from there.
Did you find something?
Yeah, I did.
What is it?
It's this. It was lodged in the wall.
Ooh. Then another shot was fired. Well, Larry, I'm not sure how this is going to help Blaine's case.
Well, I'm not sure either, but I do know that 2 shots were fired that night.
Yes, and it is something that we didn't know before.
Yeah, it could also mean that there is more to this case than has been presented up to this point, Brian.
Yes, it does, Larry. It most certainly does. With this, and with Rick's information about that drug, this case is getting more puzzling by the minute.
Jerry, I am so scared. I'd give anything not to have to testify today.
I know what you mean. I felt the same way before I testified. But you're going to do just fine.
Jerry, things are going to come out in that courtroom. Things that are going to hurt a lot of people. People I care about.
You can't worry about that now, Blaine. The only thing that you should be thinking about is yourself. That's what's important. Your real friends. And the people who really care about you are going to understand that.
I've already hurt you so much already.
Blaine, I can understand the kind of duress that you were in. I don't think anybody could understand how you'd feel if you were locked in that kind of life.
No. It was before all of that started, Jerry.
But Brian, what'd Larry say?
He went back to Blaine and Jordan's house. He found another bullet stuck in the wall since the night of the shooting.
You're kidding.
No, he showed me the slug. And now, with Rick's identifying that vial, that drug in the photograph, Jordan's death is becoming more of a mystery than any of us suspected.
I don't understand, Brian. How is all this going to affect me?
I'm not sure yet, Blaine. But it does mean that there are a lot of unanswered questions in this case.
Mr. Bancroft, the court is about ready to convene. They're waiting for you.
How is he?
I'm really worried about him, Rachel. I don't know how this could have happened. Dr. Matthews, he looks terrible.
Well, that's to be expected. He's going to be pretty shaky for the next couple of days at
Russ,
least.
please let me see him.
Rachel, when Jamie is ready to see people, then you can visit him. But please, not until he's ready.
Russ, I don't want to upset him. I just want to go in there and tell him I'm here. I think that would help him.
Rachel, I'm really sorry. I know how much this must hurt you, but Jamie specifically said that he didn't want to see you or Mac. Now, you must understand that.
No, I'm afraid I don't understand that.
Uncle Russ, could I speak with you?
Just a minute. I'll be with you.
Russ, it's really important that he see Mac and me right now, so that he knows he's not alone.
Rachel, I'm sure that he will change his mind soon. But if he doesn't want to see you now, I don't know what to say.
Look, all I want to do is go in there and tell him that we're going to get him through all of this. It won't take me more than a few minutes, Russ, I promise.
We just can't risk doing anything that's going to upset him. He can't handle any additional pressure. But believe me, he's okay. He really is.
All right. I'll wait until he's ready to see me. You call me, all right?
Oh, I promise you I will.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Hello, darling. It's Ilsa. I do hope I haven't bothered you.
No, not at all. What can I do for you, Ilsa? Sandy Alexander, you told me he was no longer in Bay City.
As far as I knew, he wasn't.
But the newspapers have been far more accurate than you, darling. You see, I've just read that not only is Sandy still in Bay City, but he was a star witness at the Jordan Scott murder trial.
I told you the truth when I spoke to you, Ilsa. I didn't know that Sandy was still in town. I'd heard that he left.
But that's not all, Jason.
I've also read that our Sandy has produced a black book, my book. And in it, it outlines all of my activities here in Vegas.
Yes, I've read that too, Ilsa, and I'm very sorry, but I don't see what I can do. It really isn't my problem.
I'm afraid that you're wrong, darling. You see, I've devoted a whole chapter to you in that book.
To me?
Of course. I recorded all of my important business dealings in that book, Jason.
And I seem to recall a very interesting one concerning you and a nightclub singer.
What was her name? Merrill. Oh, yes, that was her name. The late Tracy Merrill.
What?
Jason, I seem to have upset you. I'm so sorry.
What is it that you would have me do, Ilsa?
Be assured, Jason, I am going to see that Sandy Alexander is dealt with in the proper fashion.
I'll be sending a couple of emissaries to Bay City to teach Sandy a very important lesson.
People just don't seem to be able to keep secrets like they used to anymore.
I don't think that's a very good idea, Ilsa. Sandy has protection now. I think it'll be almost impossible to get to him.
Impossible? Why, Jason, you underestimate me. Impossible is the one word that is not in my vocabulary. When I want a job done, it gets done. What I want right now is that young man dead. And you're going to help me.
Would you state your full name, please?
Blaine Ewing.
Would you please describe for the jury your relationship with the deceased?
I lived with Jordan Scott.
You also worked for him, did you not?
Yes.
What were your exact duties?
I began as the hostess at the arena.
Did you remain working in that capacity?
No.
Then would you tell the court what happened to change that?
Jordan wanted me to go to work for the escort service.
And did you?
Not at first. He said I didn't have to.
But what happened to change his mind?
It was after I got back to Bay City. I was very frightened of Jordan. And I was afraid of what he would do to me or to other people if I didn't obey his orders.
In your opinion, Miss Ewing, was Jordan Scott capable of harming people?
I know he was. I watched as he dealt with people that got in his way. I know he had Margot Grove killed.
I object, Your Honor. Margot Grove's death has never been linked to Jordan Scott and is irrelevant to this case.
Because you didn't investigate it.
Objection sustained. Ms. Ewing will refrain from any further outbursts against the prosecution.
Now, Blaine, are you aware of any particular instance in which Jordan Scott was directly responsible for?
Yes.
Would you please tell the jury about it?
Because of me, Jordan Scott made an attempt on Jerry Grove's life.
Now, objection. The official police report cites the incident in question as an unsolved hit and run. Miss Ewing's statement is based purely on conjecture.
Your Honor, Miss Ewing has information relating to this case, which was not included in the original police investigation.
Very well. Your objection is overruled, Mr. Colton. Proceed, Mr. Bancroft.
Please, Blaine, go on.
Jordan had become very jealous of my relationship with Jerry.
What was the nature of that relationship?
We were married at one time. Although we got divorced, we remained very close friends.
Did you love him?
I don't know. I know that I cared about him. I was worried that something might happen to him.
Why were you concerned?
Jordan was a very jealous man. A very possessive man. At one time, he even had someone following me. That was to report back to him about where I had been and who I had seen. I wanted to warn Jerry that I was being watched. It wasn't safe for us to see each other. We agreed to meet one night at his apartment. When he didn't show up, I got very worried, so I went to his office. When I got to the parking garage, I found Jerry lying there. He had been run down, and I knew Jordan had done it.
Objection. Mr. Scott's alibi for that evening has already been established.
Objection sustained.
Jordan never dirtied his own hands. He always had someone else do it for him.
Objection sustained. Mr. Bancroft, you're going to have to control your witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Blaine, will you tell the court why you and Jerry Grove left Bay City?
It was the night of the bombing of the Corey complex. Jerry went over to the house. When I got there, he had a gun pulled on Jordan, and he was threatening him. I knew that something really terrible was going to happen, so I told Jerry that Jordan carried a gun, too. Well, Jordan got very angry with me then. Jerry convinced me that the only way I would be safe was if I were to leave town with him.
And did you agree with Jerry?
Yes, I did. I knew it was the only way, unless we could find a black book.
Objection, Your Honor. There has been no proof whatsoever to establish the existence of this black book, as Miss Ewing puts it.
Objection sustained.
So, both feeling that the only answer was to leave Bay City, you and Jerry Grove ran from Jordan Scott.
Yes, that's right.
Why did you decide to return?
I had no choice. When Jordan and his men caught Sandy, I knew that they would kill him unless I did something. So I made a deal with Jordan.
What kind of a deal?
Sandy and I promised that we would come back to Bay City with him and do whatever he wanted, as long as he would leave Jerry alone.
So, in order to protect Jerry, you sacrificed yourself and your own free will to ensure his safety.
I had to. There was no other way. I just couldn't let Jerry go through anything else. I couldn't.
Rachel?
Hello, Mac. Thank you for seeing me.
What's all right? What do you want to see me about? Visiting with Amanda?
No, it's about Jamie. I'm terribly worried about him.
I know. I am, too. I've done a lot of thinking about it. I've decided what he really needs when he's released from the hospital is a real long rest. That way, he'll be able to relax without worrying about work or anything else.
It's a good idea. Have you seen him at the hospital?
No, I wanted to, but they told me that he specifically asked not to see anyone for a while.
Well, I went over to see him at the hospital.
Oh, did they let you in? How is he?
No, I wasn't allowed in. He doesn't want to see you or me. Not yet, at least.
Rachel, I'm sure that's just because he feels that he's disappointed us. He feels he's let us down by what's happened.
I know. That's why it's so important that we be able to get in to see him, to tell him that we love him and that we care about him.
Yes, well, I want to see him.
I mean, it's very important for him right now to see us, to know that he's got the support he needs right now.
But if he doesn't want to see us?
Well, that's why we've got to convince him that he should see us. I mean, we should get in. There must be some way we can get in.
Listen, Rachel. If Jamie feels that he's disappointed us and he doesn't want us there, then if we go to see him, it's just going to put more pressure on him right now, and it might do him a lot more harm than good.
Then you're not going to help me?
It's not a question of not wanting to help you. You know I would do anything in the world to help Jamie. It's just that I think we would help him a lot more if we do just what he asks us to do. Give him a little more time. He'll want to see us soon. I'm sure of that.
It's just that I feel so helpless. I mean, there he is in that hospital room, and he's all alone, and there's nothing I can do to help him.
I know. I know how you feel. I feel helpless, too. Believe me, I do.
Now, Miss Ewing, will you please describe for the court what your life was like after you returned to Bay City with Jordan Scott?
It was terrifying. I knew that Jordan no longer loved me. When I left him, it caused him a great deal of embarrassment within the company. Apparently, they ordered him to keep his house in order, so I knew he was punishing me.
How did he punish you?
He made me work for the escort service.
As an escort?
No, but that was coming in time.
And what else did Jordan Scott do?
He beat me. He knew I wouldn't tell anybody the truth about what he did because he knew I'd be afraid of what he would do to anyone that tried to help me.
Well, did you ever try to run away again?
I thought about it. I decided it was pretty useless. He'd only find me again.
And did Jerry Grove try to help you this time?
No, I wouldn't let him. I tried to persuade everybody that I really loved Jordan. I knew that if Jordan saw Jerry and me together, that he would have him killed. I knew there was no way for me to get away from Jordan unless I found that black book.
Objection, Your Honor. The existence of this black book has yet to be proven.
Your Honor, our contention as to the existence of the book is central to the defense. And with the court's indulgence, I will be able to prove why.
Very well, but I advise you to proceed with caution along this line of questioning, Mr. Bancroft.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Blaine, did you try to find the book?
Yes, I did. Sandy Alexander and Melissa Needham tried to detain Jordan at the arena the night that I searched the house for the book.
And was this also the night of the shooting?
Yes, it was.
Did you find the book?
Yes, I did.
Then what happened?
I had torn the whole house apart looking for the book. I was pretty desperate to find it. And when I did find it, I felt that finally there was some hope for me. And then the front door opened. I knew it was Jordan. When he came in and saw the state of the house, he knew what I was doing. So he came at me. I tried to run away. He just grabbed me, threw me on the floor. And I saw the gun. I grabbed it.
Go on, Blaine.
He said he knew I wouldn't shoot him. I told him to stay away from me. I warned him. He kept taunting me. And then he grabbed the gun. We struggled. The gun went off. Jordan reeled back, and I knew he had been shot.
Now, Blaine, this is very important. So please, please think carefully before you answer. Now, after Jordan had fallen to the floor, was he dead?
No. He wasn't dead.
Well, what did you do when you realized that Jordan was shot?
I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I just ran.
Did you take the black book with you?
No. Last time I saw the book, it was lying on the floor next to Jordan.
What did you do, Blaine, after you ran away from the house? You remember where you went?
I went to Jerry's loft. I didn't know where else to go. I didn't even know how I got there. But I knew I had to tell Jerry what happened. So I told him that Jordan was shot. The rest, it gets so confusing. I don't know. Dr. Matthews came. He gave me a sedative to calm me down. The next morning when I woke up, Joey Perini was there. He told me Jordan was dead.
And this was the first time that you learned that Jordan Scott had died.
Yes. He wasn't dead when I left. He was alive when I left that house. I know he was.
Now, Blaine, I just have one more question. Did you ever consider, after all the abuse and physical and mental torture that Jordan had put you and your loved ones through, did you ever consider killing Jordan Scott?
No. No, I didn't want to kill him. I couldn't have done anything like that. Not intentionally.
Thank you, Blaine. I have no further questions.
Where have you been? You know what time it is?
Well, I was over, I went over to see Jamie.
Okay, well, I've got to get to work.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. He didn't want to see me. I don't understand it. I really could help him right now, give him the support he needs.
Right, well, I'm sorry, but if you give him time, maybe he'll change his mind.
Yeah, that's what Mac said.
When'd you see Mac?
Oh, I went over to the house to see if he could help, to see if he'd know what to do.
Well, why did you go see him?
Well, because he's Jamie's father. I didn't know who else to turn to.
Me? Why is it that Mac and the family have to overshadow us? Why is it that you couldn't come to me and ask for my help?
I can't get out.
There's no way out for you, Jamie.
But I have to get out. I have to.
No, you've hurt too many people now, Jamie.
Well, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Sorry won't help you now, Jamie. It's too late for you to be sorry.
Mac will forgive me. I know he will. I know he will.
Yes, Jamie, Mac loves you. But maybe this time he can't forgive you.
Where are you?
Not anymore.
Where are you? Cecile. You'll forgive me. Won't you? Please. Forgive me. I need you now.
I don't know, Jamie. I don't want to be hurt anymore either.
I'm sorry. Hold me. Please. Hold me. Please. Need you. Cause.
Jamie. Jamie, it's all right.
Marianne.
It's all right.
Marianne.
Jamie. You okay? Do you want me to get Les?
No. Just don't leave me. I don't want to be alone.
No.
Just stay with me.
No,
Just
I'll
for a little
stay.
while.
I'll stay as long as you want.
Oh.
How could I come to you? I know how you feel. You're sick to death of hearing about my family.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I just would like for you to get some sort of perspective on your life, like separating the past from the present.
Well, that's not so easy to do. They're connected. I can no more forget my past than I could forget my family.
I know. I'm beginning to see that.
Is that what you want me to do? Just forget about Jamie and Amanda? Just turn my back on them when they're in trouble?
No, I don't want you to forget about your children. But I would like to feel as important as they are. I don't want to come between you and your family, but I don't want your family to overpower us.
They won't. But Jamie has a serious problem right now. He's in trouble, Mitch. You're not.
You're sure of that?
I think it went very well, Blaine. After your testimony today, that jury has to realize the kind of terror you lived under with Jordan.
I hope you're right, Brian.
I think I've got some pretty good news for the two of you.
What is it, Jerry?
Well, I've just been informed that the court has agreed to an exhumation order on Jordan's body. Now, an autopsy is going to be performed to check for traces of drugs.
What are you talking about, Jerry?
Well, I think that Rick Holloway's detective work may pay off for us, Blaine. You see, Rick suspects that traces of a particular drug will be detected in Jordan's body if an autopsy is conducted.
Well, I know he's excited about something, but what is it?
Well, it's a drug that's used to thin the blood for particular medical cases. Now, if we can prove that Jordan had been given that drug after he was shot, then we can establish that the gunshot wound wasn't entirely responsible for his death.
Blaine, this was supposed to cheer you up. Now, if Rick is right, you know what this could mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Blaine, what is it? What's wrong?
I'm still afraid, Jerry. Zachary Colton gets to cross-examine me yet. What's he going to do to me up there on that witness stand?